Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Criterion Corner. This is a segment on my channel where I talk about films either in the Criterion Collection or streaming on the Criterion channel, give my thoughts and opinions on them, recommend them to you, and today I'm back to talk about another Brian De Palma film. As I said in the last Criterion Corner episode, they currently have a segment on their channel called Erotic Thrillers. I just watched the De Palma documentary that A24 produced and was really interested to dive in and watch some more of Brian De Palma's work, and they uploaded two films of his on the channel, and I just talked about Dressed to Kill, and today I'm going to be talking about another one of his films, Body Double. Body Double is directed by Brian De Palma. After losing an acting role and his girlfriend, Jake Scully finally catches a break. He gets offered a gig house sitting in the Hollywood Hills. While peering through a beautiful home's telescope one night, he spies a gorgeous blonde dancing in her window. But when he witnesses the girl's murder, it leads Scully through the netherworld of the adult entertainment industry on his search for answers, with porn actress Holly Body as his guide. After watching Dressed to Kill, I had an idea of what I was going to be getting into, and obviously I've seen Sisters before, so I knew the type of highly stylized cinematography that I was going to see in this film, but I had no idea subject matter, what this movie was going to entail, and this was an absolute blast. Similar to Dressed to Kill, I absolutely loved every second of this movie. It was so much fun. As the plot description states, you have Jake Scully, who's this kind of down on his luck actor that just got fired from his job. When he's coming home from his job, his girlfriend, played by Barbara Crampton for literally 20 seconds of the movie, he comes in and she's having an affair. He goes to this bar, starts getting drunk, and he runs into this guy who's an old friend who's also an actor, and he says, "Hey, I've been doing this house sitting gig where all you have to do is water these plants. I've got to go out of town for a while, but you can stay in here." And then in only Brian De Palma fashion, he has to add in this really weird thing where he's like, "Hey, I've got this thing that I think you're really going to enjoy." And he has this telescope where he's peering across the street at this woman who's getting naked and just dancing in her window every single night. And he's like, "It's like clockwork. And it's just the most goofy, schlocky bullshit. And so every single night he starts watching her. Well, one night he notices somebody that is staring at her from outside, very Rear Window-esque, which obviously De Palma has stated he's heavily influenced by Alfred Hitchcock. And so he starts following this woman around to try to make sure that she doesn't get hurt, but he's also sexually obsessed with her. So it's a really interesting dichotomy psychologically, and she ends up getting murdered, as the description states. And so then he finds out through this series of events that she might be connected to this adult entertainment industry organization, and so he ends up posing as a porn producer to get close to this porn actress to try to figure out who murdered this woman. And it is just the most insane, ridiculous film, as far as just it's the exact same thing I said about Dressed to Kill. Highly stylized, beautifully shot, really great performances at moments, with also some really schlocky, dumb dialogue that I just think is balanced really well throughout the movie. It's so much fun. I think De Palma's films, they have weird pacing issues that I'm not always 100% invested, but I still think that they're so much fun and they're entertaining that by the end I'm so hooked that I can't wait to see what happens next. And I think even knowing the twists of the movies wouldn't take away from the enjoyability factor, and this one just has some really ridiculous moments. The killer in this film has a giant drill, and you cannot tell me that Brian De Palma was not influenced by the Slumber Party Massacre, which came out 2 years prior to this film, because even the getup of the guy looks relatively similar. He's not in full denim like the character from Slumber Party Massacre, but the giant drill, 100%. I'm just Slumber Party Massacre. De Palma's gotta love schlocky movies, and was yeah, I can use a giant drill in my film as a killing weapon. And yeah, it's just his movies are so absurd and they're so much fun, and there's really not anyone like him in the industry, where he talked about it in his documentary that there's not a lot of people who have kind of applied Hitchcock's filmmaking techniques in their career, and he really utilizes a lot of the incredible techniques that Hitchcock sort of developed in his career. And yeah, these movies are just so much fun. They're highly sexualized, especially Body Double and Dressed to Kill, in a way that I said it in my last review, but they're almost not sexy. They're so like goofy and over the top that it's more just like funny. Kind of like if you'd find one of those like cheapo paperbacks at like Walmart that has like the shirtless guy holding the woman on the front. I'm assuming that like the sexual sequences in it would be kind of paralleled to what you would see in that type of a novel, which makes it really fascinating. But there's also like this level in this film, and Rear Window explores that, like the idea of voyeurism, and like you're doing something that you really shouldn't be by peering in on someone's life and watching them, but like if you could have the chance to save them, is that the right thing to do? And I think that that idea is really an interesting one that De Palma does a really nice job exploring in this film. And the idea of sex throughout his films is always really uniquely and interestingly explored. Like even the way that he explores the adult entertainment industry in this, it's never looked on in a negative way. It's very much portrayed just as it is, which is something that I can really appreciate. I feel like, you know, over the years we haven't really gotten a ton of really great movies about the adult entertainment industry, and obviously that's not the single focus on this, but like I think of, you know, a film the past couple years like Pleasure or Sean Baker's Starlet that kind of look at the adult entertainment industry through a very more, you know, neutral lens, showing the good and the bad elements of this. And I feel like this movie in particular kind of just looks at the porn industry through like a very standard lens, where it's like just kind of showing it for what it is, not looking at it through a negative light, which is something that I really appreciate, especially for this time period. And the way that that's juggled through this very kind of like heady psychological stuff that's going on in the movie, where he's trying to manipulate the viewer into who is this killer, why are they doing what they're doing. And it's just a super fun experience, and a movie that I would highly recommend you check out. If you have a Criterion channel subscription, go watch this movie. It's an absolute blast. So have you seen Body Double? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was absolutely incredible. It was so much fun. I'm on a Brian De Palma kick and looking forward to watching more of his film. As always, if you like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.